It's by far the longest. It's also pretty windy. It looks like the loggers had a few cocktails before they dug this. This doesn't go straight at all. It's pretty, but it's pretty hard to navigate. So we do ask that everybody stay seated and keep their hands in. But it's definitely a good place to ask some questions. Nice lawn over here on the right, and they filmed a Nike commercial on that one with some Magic players about 16 years ago. You know, this is definitely a good town to drive around also, just to help you with your directions, bearings, whatever. This is the north part of the historic district, and we're getting ready to go under a bridge which is called Palmer Avenue. As soon as we go under Palmer, there'll be a road on our right. You'll see it right away. That's called Alabama Drive, and it circles in and out of Palmer. It's definitely one of the favorite drives here. The bougainvilleas are starting to fade a little bit, but there's still, some of them are just brilliant. It's kind of an unusual color for one, so that's a coral. You know, this has been, as Ron was saying, at the boat for just a terrible drought this year. The last one's been awful. So the lakes are super. We're barely getting through these canals. But the drought we had in 2000 was so bad, the canals went bone dry. I mean, the lakes were that low. And that's when the city put new sides on them. They just took advantage of the drought. So when the loggers dug them, they didn't have sides and were pretty straight, just ditched. But during the Depression, as a work project, they put cypress sides on these canals and got crooked. And that's what they replaced with these. These are metal, topped with a little wood. Yeah, most of the people have these boathouses, can't get their boats out right now because the lakes are so low.
It's like in the garage door.
Do your boats? That's where the water is supposed to be.
Wow. Yeah, look how.
These are some big trees.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
There we go. A little beeping, thought it was him.
Oh, need to pull over.
I am the last tour boat, guys. I don't think anybody else, but I'm not sure.
Wow, look at these cypress.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Oh, that's a huge size.
You know, this tree in front of us that goes across the canal, this is a live oak, and it used to stand up straight, but Hurricane Donna blew this one over in 1960, and it miraculously fell on the 3 poles over there. Of course, it didn't fall on the poles, it goes up. It's too miraculous. And I was telling you about Alabama Drive. You can see it over a little bit better over here on the right. Now just drag it a little bit. These plants on the left with the big leaves that look like elephant's ears are called elephant ear plants.
Picnic spot. Just you guys.
Yeah, you see what looked like sticks sticking up out of it? Yeah, she is. It's looked like sticks sticking out of the ground over here. Those are called cypress knees. They're part of the roots of a cypress tree. They get oxygen through the roots below the water. That's why cypress trees live in water. Yeah, if you saw her painting, they have a big event here called Paint Out Winter Park. It's held at the Plastic Museum, and it raises money for that museum, but we'll have painters from all over the world painting scenes of Winter Park every year. The money they make selling those paintings goes to the Plastic. It's kind of a neat event. We are coming out of Lake Maitland, which is the largest lake on the chain. This is about 450 acres. There's a little island right in the middle of it, straight ahead. You see a bunch of boats there. Can't see them all. That's a little cove there, but that's the favorite place to go boating in winter on these chain lakes. The building to our right is Rollins College Crew Boathouse. So although Rollins sits on Lake Virginia, the crew team practices out here on Maitland. Maitland's about twice as big as Virginia, so this is just a lot better for crew. And I talked about how low these lakes can get, but they don't flood because there's a dam and a creek all the way across Lake Maitland, and the water that flows over the dam to keep the lakes from flooding, it eventually goes to the Atlantic Ocean up in Jacksonville by way of the St. Johns River. So this is St. Johns Water Management here also. Lots of parks in Winter Park appropriately, and one of the favorites is the one to our right called Craft Azalea Gardens. Some of the oldest trees in this town are the cypress trees here along the shore. Some of those are close to 1,000 years old. And then also the park, we have that little 6-column structure called an exedra, and on the back of that it says, "Pause, friend, let refresh the spirit." So a great place to get your spirit refreshed, but really used mostly for taking pictures and holding some small weddings. Sometimes they're short weddings. They don't have any bathrooms in the park, so you're going to have to hurry over there.
What was the name of the park again?
Craft, like the cheese, it's not cheese people, but it's spelled the same way. KRFT, Azalea Garden. Back in the canal, I was telling you all that Alabama Drive does a little horseshoe. So Alabama takes you to Craft Azalea if you want to go. And then it curves on to our right. And now as it does that, it passes this building at the core of the cove. You can kind of see the roof of the building. That building originally was a hotel built in the 1920s called the Alabama Hotel. And it was a famous place where famous people did stay. Matter of fact, they claim that Margaret Mitchell was at the Alabama when she was writing the last chapters to Gone with the Wind. And that stayed a hotel until the 70s. It just kind of ran its course and was abandoned. The building's here because in 1980 it was converted to a condominium called the Alabama Condos. The homes to the left of it, these are on a road that runs into Alabama Drive. This is another good drive for it. It's called Via Tuscany. And the oldest house back here is the one in the center with the black shutter. So they built that one in 1918. Next year that's going to be 100 years old. 2 doors to the left of it, the one with all the columns, looks like it's old. It's 2 years old. And that's really one of the unique things about Winter Park, in my opinion, is the blend of old and new. That newer house, not just a great house, that's a guest house on his left, pool house on the right, and a clay tennis court terrace on the shore right there. Well, the house over to our windows to our right was modeled after a house in Venice, so that's Venetian style, and it was made relatively famous here in town by Tom Hanks. He leased it. And that happened about 18 years ago. At the time, he was filming a movie for HBO, which was called From the Earth to the Moon. And he wanted that house to represent an astronaut's home in the movie. So he didn't live there, but he sent his film crew here. And they were there for about 6 weeks. The movie came out. There's about 30 seconds of airtime with the house in it. Most of that time was spent on the cutting room floor, I think, that they filmed it.
Head exam.
Over here to the right, you can see a little canal which looks like it goes to a lake. Well, that one does not. Everything to the now is an island out here in Maitland, which wasn't an island you could build homes on until the 90s. Prior to that, was marshy land over here. In the 20s, they made an island and did that by sandbagging the perimeter and backfilling it, which made this 11-acre island. And, today, there are 10 homes sitting on it, and these are some of the more expensive homes in Winter Park. It's called the Isle of Sicily. The barge they used to make it was called that. They just, for some reason, named after the barge. The little cypress right off its shore, really one of the favorites here. A customer of mine, only one time in 8 years has this happened, but he asked me if that was an orange tree. Those are not oranges hanging from it, that's what they thought. Those are Christmas ornaments. One of our drivers and his family decorate that every Christmas season, and most of them get blown off. There are about 30 up there belly now, so not many left.
You have the cypress.